Hello everyone, so I thought I would do a short review of the Cube Nuroad Race FE model. This is the 2021 model. I don't think there are any reviews yet on YouTube. I took delivery of this 2 weeks ago, so I think I must be one of the first actually customers who collected one of these in Germany. So I'm not employed by Cube, I don't get any sponsorship, neither from Shimano, just a private rider. But these bikes were very popular in Germany last year, completely sold out on the 2020 model. So I thought I would just give you a highlight of the differences between the 20 and the 21 version. So the basis for this bike is the Nuroad Race Gravel, and Cube have done some significant changes to the 2021 FE model, which I find very, very positive. So first change is the front fork. So on the 2020 model you had carbon, which this year is the same, but this year's fork is much wider. You're able to ride a 40 tire including the mudguards. On last year's model I believe it was limited to a 35. If you take off the mudguard you can go even wider, but I think the 40 is a perfect size for gravel. I'm not a crazy gravel rider. I do like 70% of my riding on road. This width is fine for road as well. Very smooth tire. The Schwalbe G1 all-rounds were used, Kevlar reinforced. They are with a tube, so not tubeless, but that for me I don't really care. The only modification I will do is I will take the tires off and put in Schwalbe tubes, because I do believe there will be some low-cost versions installed. So the front fork for me is a big improvement. As well, the cable for the light is now integrated. On the 2020 model you had the cable still running on the outside with this ugly little sticker. So good work there. Also the 2020 model did not have a sealed plug here on the hole for your front reflector, so nice attention to detail this year. The front dynamo for the light system you hardly feel, so very smooth, and it also looks a little bit more robust than the one on the 2020 model. So all in all, a great improvement. I also feel that the front fork is a lot stiffer and stronger than on the previous version. You've got a great integrated light set, LED front light, it's always on. There's an LED on the back integrated into the rear bumper as well. The only disadvantage on this one is on slow speed it flickers. Nothing serious, but when you stop it goes out. So there's no battery or cap in there just to make it burn a little bit longer. So just be wary of that. Another change is the integrated adjustment on the seat, so very clean looking, but I did find that my seat was rotating a little bit on the first rides, so we've had that cleared up by Cube today. The frame improved since the 2020 version, a little bit lighter. The geometry I find is phenomenal. The handling of this bike is the first thing that kind of impressed me. Very mobile, great turning radius. It feels sharp, it feels really like a top-notch race bike, and not like a machine perhaps for daily use. So I use this bike for training. I think this is kind of the second bike that everybody should have. When the weather gets bad or wet, you sure don't want to be taking out your expensive racing machines. So this kind of all-rounder is fantastic for that. The color scheme is as well, I think, really great. I didn't like it in the beginning when I saw it on the Cube site, but I think it's a lot more elegant, a lot more stealthy than the 2020 model. So good job there, and I really like this gloss gray with the slight black accents. The other thing just on the mudguards is they've become a little bit more robust, more serious. So the 2020 version had really like flimsy, weird mudguards, they didn't just look crap, but they weren't really very useful. On this one, they much more purposeful, and I think they look pretty cool. no sense in taking them off. All good there. So the group set is GRX. So a little bit of confusion about this. So there's a lot online about the GRXs being that the gear ratios are too short. Now, if you're not a very powerful rider and you want to take some luggage with you, or you're just living in a very hilly area, then this is fantastic. This bike just flies up hills. You really feel very, very mobile, and you hardly feel the weight of this bike, which is actually not that bad. So all in all, with all the gear on it, you're looking at about 10.7, I think, in total. So I've seen bikes costing twice as much with a kilo and a half more weight. So for me, absolutely fine. The frame as well is aluminium, which I think for gravel bikes and daily use bikes is just perfect. It's strong, slightly flexible. I think carbon for gravel bikes is like just a bit too much, but that's up to you. I'm okay with the aluminium. It's very cleanly welded. From a distance, you actually cannot tell. The only areas are on the bottom, of course, where it's not so visible. You can see the welds. Yeah, just coming back to the mud guards, the other thing I think is cool is keeps the bottom of your bike clean. So even if you're graveling, you don't have to wash it every single day. So that's cool. One thing about the GRX is, though, on a level road or downhill, if you're chasing top end, so at about 40-42 kmh, you're going to run out of gear. This is the 46. Yeah, front chain set. So I've had a chat with Cube today, and I'm gonna try do a change. I'm gonna put a 48 on and see how that goes. But other than that, the gear changes are absolutely smooth, rock solid. Really impressed with this. Don't listen to any other YouTubes where it's telling you it's old mountain bike technology. Shimano know what they're doing. This group set is great. The front, the handlebars, the ergonomics are phenomenal. You have the high pivot point on the braking, so you can basically brake with one finger. Speaking of the brakes, you've got 160 disc brakes on it all around. A lot of debate online, rim brakes, disc brakes, blah blah. Yeah, so I had a situation 2 days ago. I was on the bike. I had a kid in front of me, and his parents were behind me, and I just for a second turned my head to see where the parents were, and the kid decided to to stop very suddenly. I had to hit full anchors, and I was in that moment. Had I had rim brakes just at half a second and that slight reduced grip, I would have been all over him. So disc brakes for me, absolutely a must on this kind of bike. If they do squeak, whatever, again, forget about all the YouTube videos trying to center them with business cards or other nonsense. Just go by your store, get a mechanic to look at it. These guys are doing this every single day. They'll center them in 5 minutes, and you'll be spared the heartache of spending hours trying to figure these things out. The tolerances are very small. It is what it is, but the braking performance for me is an absolute must. So I've got Shimano dual-sided mountain bike pedals on this. So I have the clips on the one side, flat on the other when I'm just touring. Works really well. The other thing that I really like is the stand. I mean, just look at the way Cube have integrated this. Super elegant, super useful. I do not care about the 150 grams extra that I'm lugging with. When I arrive somewhere, I'm not leaning my bike against the wall or letting it lie in a field. It just stands there, all proud. So, great work, Cube there. Nice improvement. Again, you've got the rear bag carrier. I wouldn't care if it wasn't there, but sometimes, you know, if you want to take some camera equipment, or you just want to go swimming or do a small tour, yeah, there you go. You can hang some of your stuff on there. I do think it's a bit better made than the acid stand on the 2020 model, where there were like angles on the weld that were reflecting weird, that it looked like the paint was off. But on this one, all good. Really like the way it looks. Yeah, spoke about the rear light, all good there. So you've got an integrated lamp. Do need to maybe fit a reflector on the back, but otherwise all good. So for now, I'm really happy with this setup. Really nice bike, really great all-rounder. Yeah, I'll do a review again in a couple of months when I've tried out the new gearing. For now, I think this you're getting a lot of good bike for not so much money. Although it's not cheap, depends how big your bank account is. This one goes for, currently with the reduced tax rate due to COVID, we've got a price of 1,656 euro, and now modifying the front chain set, I have to replace the chain as well, it's going to cost me about an extra 100. But if it gives me that extra 5 to 10 kmh on a straight, it'll be well worth it. It'll be much closer to a race bike and have the capability to go on trails when I want to. Okay, yeah, the seat, the saddle, again, quite a standard one from Cube. It's actually quite okay, much better than the standard saddles you get on like Amazon or your standard bikes. This one, I usually tend to get pains on standard saddles after about an hour and a half. This one I've been on 2-3 hour rides and all good. So pretty good, but maybe I will be changing that in the future as well for something a bit more accomplished. Okay folks, that's it. If you enjoyed this brief summary, click on like. If you didn't like it, double click on don't like, and have a great day everybody. Cheers.